Hey, everybody! It seems that Putin Lukashenko's office has burned itself. The information has appeared, which can tell us that the destruction of hundreds of people in Crocus was organized by the FSB together with the Belarusian KGB. They themselves admitted that the perpetrators of the action tried to go to Belarus, but something went wrong and they were caught in the woods by other units, apparently not having received the appropriate coordination. The fact is that the Belarusian security services admitted yesterday that they helped Russia to detain the suspects in the shooting at the concert hall in Crocus City Hall and prevented them from crossing the Russian-Belarusian border, said Ambassador of Belarus to Russia. We hope this information will be continued and you and I will return to this topic many times. The USA says that there is no Ukrainian trace in the terrorist attack near Moscow. This was reported by the Voice of America correspondent with reference to a representative of the U.S. National Security Council. The sole responsibility for this act lies with ISIS. There was no Ukrainian involvement in this. Journalist Misha Komodowski quoted the White House Security Council spokesman as saying, "Boom. -3 Russian airplanes and -34 military in Sevastopol overnight," Russian media reported. Earlier, analysts of the group Technical reported that 3 Storm Shadow missiles flew into the communication hub of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, destroyed 34 occupants, 40 wounded, damaged 3 airplanes. The Russians themselves report the results of the strike on Sevastopol. A well-camouflaged command post was hit. 3 Su-27s at Belbek Airfield were damaged by debris from downed missiles. Also flew on the place of deployment of Russian Marines. Serious multiple casualties there. And the cherry on the nightly cake, the Ukrainian Air Force reports the destruction of 2 large ships, Yamal and Azov, and also confirms the destruction of the communications center and other infrastructure of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. This is what the affected ships looked like before the strike. 1 photo BDC Yamal. 2 photo BDC Azov. This is, first of all, a painful blow to the occupiers' logistics. After a series of Kerch Bridge defeats, the occupiers tried to emphasize sea transportation to supply their own contingent in Crimea and Azov region. For this purpose, they turned their large landing ships into ferries. Another interesting event happened at night. You know that there was another missile attack on Ukraine, but there is one curious thing. The thing is that it turns out that a Russian missile flew into the territory of Poland, reported the Polish Operational Command. The Air Force watched the missile for 39 seconds. Polish aviation was involved. Whether they tried to shoot it down is unknown, but the missile quietly flew from Poland in the direction of Lviv. Once again, NATO has shown its toothlessness. U.S. President Joe Biden signed a $1.2 trillion budget and called on Congress to pass bipartisan supplemental funding legislation. The corresponding message was published by the White House. Biden said the bipartisan funding bill is a compromise and keeps the government open, invests in the American people, and strengthens the economy and national security. But I want to be clear, Congress's work is not done. The House of Representatives must pass a bipartisan national security supplemental to advance our national security interests, and Congress must pass the bipartisan border security agreement, the toughest and fairest reform in decades, to ensure we have the policies and funding we need to protect the border. It's time to get it done, Biden added. However, Congress is on Easter recess and will return to work after April 9th. What's interesting is that a resolution to fire Mike Johnson as Speaker has been registered in Congress. It was filed by Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene. So 2 votes are expected for additional funding and for Johnson's removal, and we will just have to watch the developments. The Franco-German defense company KNDS will set up a subsidiary in Ukraine. This was written in his X by French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu after a meeting with his German counterpart. Joint production in Ukraine. KNDS intends to set up a subsidiary in order to meet the needs of the Ukrainian armed forces as fully as possible. Ammunition and spare parts for the maintenance of German and French systems in Ukraine, with the possibility of producing complete systems in the future, the minister said in a statement. The KNDS concern consists of France's Nexter and Germany's Krauss-Maffei-Wegmann. For obvious reasons, it is not known where exactly the plant will be located, but as the French portal BMF-TV noted, citing its own sources, the production may be placed underground. During the night, the Russians launched 29 cruise missiles Kh-101/Kh-555 at Ukraine. 18 of them were shot down, Air Force Commander Olszczuk said. They also attacked 28 Shahids. 25 of them were shot down. The drones were flying within Dnipropetrovsk, Kherson, Mykolaiv, Odessa, Sumy, Kiev, Volyn, and Lviv regions. On this map you can see the routes of missiles and Shahids during the night massive attack of the Russian Federation. Although they are approximate, you can see that the main target this time is the western regions, with Lviv Oblast getting the most. Situation at the front. The enemy advanced in the Serebransky Forestry, near Chasiv Yar, Ivanovsko, north of Orlovka, south of Tonenkoy, south of Krasnogorovka, and west of Staromayorskoy.